pretty good in the woods here, just alone.
What's your shirt saying?
Run D&D.
Hmm.
All right, well, if y'all are ready, we can get going. Here we go. All right. Welcome to the table, baby. A tabletop role-playing podcast where you join me and my friends each week as we screw around and find out. Our adventure starts just days before the Last Moon Festival. Some of you are traveling from afar and others travel far less than you'd like. We begin our journey with Ike, Winchesterton Fieldville's resident brewmaster returning from his most recent success. The people of the town anxiously await this year's signature craft. The day is new and the sun rises, but it is still in the cool of the morning. People rush about making preparations for the coming festival. Vendors begin to open their stands of goods, and second-story windows burst open to greet the new day. We're going to start with Ike as he comes into town. Anthony, do you want to tell us a little bit about Ike?
Ike is a born and raised local, or I guess orphan. He was raised by some common farmers. He's an elf, an Eladrin elf, I believe. Yeah, variant, basically. I am a rogue. Yeah, that's a little bit about my backstory. I don't want to give away too much.
So let's see, you feel a sense of nervousness and excitement because it has been a while since you have been back. Rumors of why you left and why you stayed gone for as long as you did are still on the tips of the town gossip tongue. You have been traveling for a few hours this morning, but have been on the road for years. You make a bend in the road, and for the first time in a long time, you see home. So I imagined you coming in here on the left or even from the south.
We can do the south. Oh, little Sebastian, we're almost there. Winchesterton Fieldville is just over the little river and horizon. I wonder what trouble we're gonna get into today. Hopefully Caligula's not there, but I can't wait to see Axe.
Awesome. Horses with him, little Sebastian. Let's cut to Jan. Oh, actually, hold on. Sorry. I got ahead of myself. I would like Lenny to come in.
Okay. All right.
then-
So outside of town, you'd find a man chopping wood outside of his cabin. You know, he's like a tall, muscular man. He's covered in scars, got tribal tattoos all over him. He's jacked. He's 6'5", 290 pounds. He's got long hair, long beard. It's black with a little bit of gray. He's probably like 41, 42. He's got more of a tribal vibe to him. If you were to look at him, he looks pretty tough and dangerous. He's got a leather kilt, with bear fur around the waist. He's got various bones woven in. Got high leather boots, plated metal gauntlets that come up to his elbows. He's got a thick iron belt around the waist, and he lives off the land. He's got a few chickens. He's got a goat, a little bit of property. Takes a break from chopping wood and heads into the cabin. It's not the best made cabin. He built it himself. He's not perfect. He's not the smartest guy. But he opens up the door, and the first thing that happens is two chickens come running out, and he reaches down and he snatches one. He's like, "Tell me, Kyle the chicken, have you dropped one?" And he looks over in the cabin in the corner where he's got a pile of hay, and there's no egg. He looks back at the chicken and just throws him out the door. If you go into the cabin, the temperature is much hotter. You know, he's got the fire hot. It's smoky. It smells like a campfire inside. It's really hot. He's got a chandelier of candles. It's made of antlers. He's got a small frame bed just big enough for his big ass to lay on in the fetal position. He's got a big grizzly bear rug with a head on it. He really hasn't ventured into town to meet people or know anybody very well, because he's convinced if he goes to town, he gets corn and feeds his chickens, he can get more eggs. He goes to the closet, pulls open the door, bear blanket over him so he can keep warm on his journey. In the back of the closet, he's got his old axe leaned up against in the corner, and it looks very dangerous. It's very foreign. Got giant writing, not big lettering, but the text of the giants. Big double-bladed. It's all dinged up. You can tell that the wood of the handle is darker and it's foreign. It's definitely not a local wood. It's definitely not from that area. Towards the bottom, it's wrapped kind of like a tennis racket, and it's sort of bent a little bit. A little bit of history on him. He's left the wars that he was accustomed to from the north. He's left the wars and the battling, and he's sort of put all that behind him. He's gone down south, plus he just got over a terrible divorce. So he's come to town to find a happy peaceful life for himself around civilization. And so on his way out the door, he looks down and he's got a sack of wooden ducks that he's whittled and that he's going to take to town to potentially trade for some corn. Then he walks out the door, heads to town.
Too bad you don't have any eggs with you. You could trade those for about anything. Okay, cool. As you walk out the door, roll me a perception check.
20.
No way.
Yeah.
Okay. You hear, not as faint as it would be to other ears, down on the path below you, because you're kind of up, into the hills in the trees there. You hear a very cheerful whistle. You even recognize the tune, because you can make out every pitch. Your hearing is so good. And you see a man walking down the path headed into town, and that man is Jan. So we'll pick up with Jan coming into town whistling.
All right, Jan is he had kind of a little bit of a rough going. His family was murdered by acolytes of an evil god, but he went from there and went job to job until he found this religion of Lathander, which is a religion of new beginnings. He joined the church and spent years training in their acolyte program until he was tasked with going on pilgrimage to find a holy relic, a holy mace in this case, that is the Mace of Lathander. His appearance is modest. He's got hand-me-down gear that has been passed down to him through the church, some basic chainmail, a rusty, very basic mace, and shield. But he is happy with his lot in life, especially after finding this new beginnings religion. Prior to now, he felt like he was just swimming against the tide, or swimming against the stream, basically, or the flow of the water. So he's on his journey. He heard that this town, Winchester Sunfieldville, might have knowledge of where to find the Mace of Lathander. And so he's whistling and coming into town, excited to find information on his pilgrimage.
Awesome. I need you to roll me a perception check.
20.
What the heck?
Whoa.
I could take a screenshot.
No,
I saw it.
You don't need to show me. Okay, so you did roll a 20. It's a dirty 20, so I need to know that, because there is a difference, but you did get to 20 because it's a 17 plus your modifier.
Plus 3, yep.
So you hear a rustling as well in the woods ahead of you or around you, but you hear so well. You notice that it's actually something up ahead of you, not to the south of you, where Lenny is coming down. But you hear creatures, animals of some sort, rustling in the woods ahead of you. The noise is coming from here. It is you can tell it's not necessarily a hostile sound, but it is footpads and some light. What do you do?
I'm curious. I want to see what the noise is, and I'm in no hurry. So I
Okay,
go
so-
to investigate.
So do you discover it's not a large grouping, but it's a pack of wolves. And they see you and they kind of stop and look. 4 or 5 of them, and they're 2 bigger ones and then 3 little ones. But they're not really being aggressive, but they are not scurrying necessarily. They're kind of looking at you as you look at them.
My curiosity is sated. I go about my business. Those are some pretty cool wolves. Let's hit the road, Jack.
Yep,
Not
so
going to move.
I would come in at this
Okay.
point, and I'd see him in the woods. Hello, traveler. What are you doing over there?
These wolves, they're just minding their own business. Curiosity got me over here to see what was going on. I'm on my way into town, to the inn, to book a room and to do some investigation.
Haha, I see. I'm going into town as well. I have a sack of ducks that I've made and I've sat around all day, carving. Do not worry about the wolves. They will not bite. I will go to town with you.
Glad for the company. By the way, my name is Jan Hus. What is your name?
My name is Lennox Steadleaf. I am from the north.
Glad to meet you, Lennox. I'd be happy to accompany you on the way into town.
Perfect. I'm looking for corn. Let's go. So, going to town.
Okay, yeah. So then we want to pick up with Clayton. Clayton, where do you want P. Whittle to come in here? Move your little token over there.
I'm good. So my dude's P. Whittle Longbottom. He's a gnome wizard, about 3'5", 45 pounds or so. So he's a real little dude. He has a little companion with him, and it's back on his back. It's his familiar, and it is a rat. Backstory-ish. So he was in a war at one time. I feel like I'll probably hold off on most of the details for later on, but he
Yeah.
does have some experience in fighting, but he spent most of his years in studying and wizardry and all that. Very book smart, and he has decided to set off and kind of learn from nature. He spent so many years indoors. He's realized he's kind of missed out. He feels he's getting older and wants to just kind of see the world, as it were. So he doesn't really have any particular aim in mind other than to kind of adventure around. He's walking into town and talking to his little buddy. Yeah, so he's fairly jolly as well. So he's just kind of traveling down the path here, and he's like, "Well, Giblet, we finally made it to somewhere we can get a good drink. It's been about 3 days without tobacco. About due for a smoke. Let's see what we can do here in Winchesterfinville. Giblet."
As you have come into town, you can see all the festivities are up and going. You are coming past a bit of a farmyard area. The warehouse is where they store a lot of grains and such, but there is a farmer man there. As you approach town, a man steps out of the barn and sees you. You hear him yelling at some pigs. So he's like, "Oh, come on here, you pig, run free, get over there, go this way." And then he sees you and he says, "Oh, I see you there. Did you see some pigs running by?"
Well, no, sir. I saw no pigs on the way in, but I've come an unconventional route. My name's Peewood of Longbottom. Wizardry's the game. I wish I could help, but unfortunately, like I said, I do not know where the pigs are.
Hold on, my God, you're so small. Hey, you better watch out, them pigs run you over there. You see them pigs, you just chew them back this way. And then he returns back. He's running around. He's going to run around and continue looking for his pigs.
Well, Giblet, we know we're not entering a place of book learning, are we?
Let's go a couple hours earlier in the day with Jan and Lenny. Did y'all make it to where you wanted to get?
We made it all the way to the Drunken Goat.
Yeah. We're at the Drunken Goat. I imagine Lenny probably makes a very dramatic entrance.
Yeah, the first thing he does is he SWAT kicks the door in, and he announces to the bar, "My name is Hello people of Westchestertonville. My name is Lennox Deadlift. I have this sack of ducks I would like to trade for corn. Tell me, what say you?"
So the bartender looks over at you and he says, "My God, man, you didn't have to break the door. If you're needing corn, you're going to want to talk to Flim. If you need whiskey, which comes from corn, well, this is the place."
"I will have a whiskey." And he takes the bag of ducks. He's probably got like 15 in them. They're all wooden. Can I roll to see like how well crafted they are?
Yeah, performance.
2.
They're not great. They look bulbous in shape with a pointed part that resemble the beak. One of them actually just looks like a piece of wood you found. It has a little bark on it still, and you're like, "This looks like a duck," and you threw it in the bag. It's like, bonus. Didn't have to craft that one.
So he takes the bag of ducks and just pours them all out onto the floor. And he picks up, the best one. He's like, "This is the best duck from my bag. I would like to trade this for 2 shots of whiskey."
The bartender had 2 glasses out, and he was getting ready to pour. And then when you slammed those onto the bar, it knocked one of his glasses over. And he heard what you said as he went to pour, and he stopped pouring. And he looks at you, and he's like, and then he looks over at Jan, and he said, "Is he serious?"
Don't worry, bartender. I've got this round. Pour one for me and my friend Lenny here.
Okay, so then he goes behind the bar, grabs another glass, puts it up, and gets 2 shots poured for you.
Lenny walks over with this best duck and slams it on the counter. Bam! "It took me 6 hours for this one duck."
"Oh, okay, yeah, thank you. I'll put that in a special place." And he hands it to one of the passing barmaids, and he whispers in her ear, and she looks at you, and she walks off with it.
And Lenny go, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa,
Towards the
whoa!
back.
Why don't you hang it up right above the bar here?"
"Oh, good sir, I need to dust that shelf. It's not ready for such a trophy right now. I will put it up there first thing in the morning."
I understand. So he takes the whiskey and he cheers it with his newfound friend.
Is it
To
gonna
new
work?
beginnings, Lenny.
Cheers, my friend.
Well, hours are passing by. Midday has passed, and it's about quitting time for some of the locals. We're going to pick up with Axe. Why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about what's going on with you?
The name's Axe Weldersmith.
Okay, I
As
hear
I look
that.
down at this dagger I just built, and I say, and I built this. What do you think, Smithy?
Yeah, that put that with the others. Looks good, son.
I throw back this apron I have, and you can see a belt around my waist, and there's about 10 daggers on it. And I just put this one in the next loop, and I just have like this belt of daggers because I'm proud of every single one of them. And I say, I think I'm done for the day. I'm gonna head out.
As you start to leave, Ike comes around the corner. He's coming to town, and he sees you.
Yeah.
Okay, you're making another dagger. He shows it to the smithy, which was me, and it's not very good, but he tells him that it is good enough, like the others, which is a pile of daggers that he's made for the smithy he's apprenticing for. And like he said, he has a belt that has about, how many daggers? 10, 12 daggers? 11 daggers. Like a bandolier of daggers. Anyways, and yeah, so he's finished up his shift and he's taking his apron off. And when he took his apron off is when it revealed that he had the 11 daggers. Yeah, so he's finished up a hard day. So Zach, did you want to do anything before you head wherever you're headed, or?
I was gonna step out of the smith shop, and he looks around, seeing how nice of the day it is, and thinks he's gonna head over to the tavern.
Okay, I need everybody at the tavern to roll a perception check. All right, 2 8s for Jan and 1 for Lennox. I just love seeing a negative. It just makes me laugh. P. Whittle with an 11. Okay, well, so Jan and Lennox, they notice absolutely nothing. They are enthralled in good times, and liquor is flowing. P. Whittle, I would say you feel a light, like inside your chest almost. Like if you ever hear like a really big bass car drive by and you can hear it, but you more like feel it than hear it. So you get like a feeling that something has happened outside. Ike, what did you roll? 19. Not only do you also feel that something has occurred outside, a rumbling or like a large blast of sorts. You also see that there like light coming in from the outside glass. Is just like a burst has happened. Zach, you see a bright burst in the sky over the wheat field.
Light?
A bright burst of light, and a loud, very loud explosion type boom sound. As you see a light burst over the top of the wheat field and cascade down into the wheat field until you can no longer see it over the horizon.
I yell, Claire, and I run to the field.
What, does anybody do anything inside the tavern?
A shot.
Yeah, I mean, you two don't have a choice here. You're just having a good time.
Yeah, I heard a little
Mike, do
rumble.
anything.
I felt a little rumble, and I thought, oh, I must be hungry. I just go up to the bar to order some food or something.
So Lennox notices this little short person. Hello, little short person. Where have you come from, and are you a wizard?
Well, yes, to both, my boy. I am a rock gnome from the east, and you look like a big man from the north.
I am a big man from the north. I've seen a wizard
Tell.
blow sparkles up a man's ass 2 times. Tell me, can you blow sparkles up a man's ass?
Well, my boy, I don't know much about sparkles, but I can send a fiery ball right up your ass if you like me to.
Ike might have decided to, as he was maybe thinking about looking out the tavern at whatever was going on, he heard fireball.
Love fireball.
Well, okay, Zach, how far do you think you made it in that amount of time?
Oh, man, I think I've gotten the outskirts of town. Like, I'm almost there.
Okay, I'd say you're passing by Flim there, and who's closing up shop as well for the day, and he saw what you saw and felt what you felt, and he's like, over there. You see the fire?
Yes, that's what I saw that one day. Remember, long time ago. Flynn, she could be there.
And
I gotta go.
he's running away. He's running away from it. He's headed to the tavern to alert because there's a fire.
Okay.
As you keep running, I guess he bursts into the tavern and starts yelling and screaming, and he's like, "Oh man, there's them fire out there, boys! You see that?" And he's looking at people. Everybody's just kind of drunk. The tavern keeper, Jim. So calm down, Flim, and tell me nice and plain what you got going on. He goes, there is a fire in the wheat field. And he throws his apron off and starts running out with him.
I'm gonna chase after them.
I think that my lawful good would make me want to go help. So I go to the wheat field.
As you approach, the fire is blazing pretty good, but you can see that there's some big big mass. You really don't know what it is. You've never seen anything like that in your life. You can tell that it does have some metal to it. It had some canvas on it. It's just...
Okay. I want to look around to see if I see my wife, and look back to the town to see if anyone is around to see me yet from town, if anyone's coming.
Okay, so you want to look around, roll a perception check.
15. High rolling.
Oh, very nice. Yeah, you see that there's a crowd of people headed towards, they're good ways behind you because you just beelined it for the bright light. And you also see near the wreckage, there's scattered stuff everywhere, and you see a body.
I just run straight to it.
Roll Constitution.
All right, Constitution. 22.
Oh, wonderful.
22.
I was gonna see how you reacted to the heat of the fire because it's ablazing. As you get to the body, you notice that it is not your wife, and in fact, it is covered in soot and everything. But you can tell that there's something different about this body. This body has fur all over it and long ears. And I'd like to cut to Joby if he's still with us. You see Flim. Flim has like a pitchfork, and he's just wailing at the wheat, trying to knock the fire out, just like slashing it. He's doing absolutely no good. In fact, he's probably helping the fire to spread a bit.
So I'm going to run to Flim's farm and look for a bucket to put water in.
Good deal. You get to Flim's bucket, roll some investigation, and we'll see what you find. Come up with there.
6.
No bucket.
So
you can't find a bucket. In the first house. Maybe it's in the other house.
I'm running frantic. I'm starting to freak out a little bit now. The fires are blazing. I run to the second house, crash open the door, and look for another bucket. 19.
You found a bucket, but roll intelligence, just straight, actually wisdom. Roll straight wisdom.
Wisdom?
Yeah.
9.
You forgot to close the gate behind you, and the pigs escaped. And they're not. And they're running. What pigs were left? They're running into town, away from the fire.
So I pick up the bucket. I'm more concerned about the fire than the pigs.
I guess it could have gone either way. You could have used your wisdom to save the pigs.
And now I'm looking for a water source. So I'm looking for probably where the pigs' water is to draw from.
Yeah, that's pretty obvious. A big trough. You can see it. It's full of water, tip top.
Fill up my bucket and start making trips to douse this flame.
But Kaylin, roll a D10. I want to see how big this bucket is in terms of gallons.
I just got how big a fire are we talking? I think I should have asked that first.
It's gonna do no good. I'm thinking. There you
9.
go. That's a 9-gallon bucket that you're hauling, full of water.
That's pretty big.
I'm gonna say
that's a heavy ass bucket. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. And there's he got most of it on himself running with it, smoldering. It's not a big fireball necessarily, but it has caught the wheat on fire around it, burning, but it's starting to spread some. But your bucket's not going to do any good. It's going to keep on blazing. If Joby's ready, we can cut to him. Tell us a little bit about Fiverr.
So imagine you're on a boat at night, right? And then imagine that boat is in the sky. And then imagine that boat is fucking on fire. And then imagine that it's not a boat, it's actually an airship. And you've been struck by lightning. And you're careening fast as a airship will fall towards the ground, which is not where you want to be in an airship. That's been the last few minutes of my life.
Hey, Joby, roll me a perception real quick. I did want to see one detail on this.
16 plus.
Oh, that's enough. You don't assume it was
18.
necessarily lightning, as in a natural sense of lightning. You were struck. You were caught on fire. You don't know what it was. You do kind of assume lightning, but you also have a sense that it was not a natural weather occurrence.
So imagine you're on a boat at night, but it's not a boat, and out of nowhere a lightning bolt hits you, and now you're fucking on fire, falling out of the sky. That's been the last few minutes of my life. So the airship's kind of tossing and turning, going out of control, right? And as I'm trying to keep it under control, stuff's like flying off the side of the boat, like crates and boxes. And of course, I'm trying to catch those crates and boxes because I don't want to lose my possessions. And the more that I try to catch those possessions, the more the boat gets out of control. So I'm kind of just spiraling towards the ground in a ball of fire. And before I hit the ground, I attempt to jump out at the last minute, but that may or may not have worked.
How far off the ground were you when you jumped, you think?
I was really occupied with trying to catch my stuff, so I would probably say I waited till the last minute, and I don't know that my backup plan deployed so well.
Yeah, so let's I was just going to do like a 1d6, which I see that's not going to be real great for you, but also not like in the middle of battle or anything, but you are unconscious. A d6, yeah.
The thing's a little
2.
here.
Just 2. And I'm not going to necessarily saying you're unconscious. You were on the ground and were unconscious, I guess, for a second there when Axe comes up on you and sees you and holds you up. And he's been yelling some name at you. Zach, what were you naming? Or what was the name you're yelling?
Clara.
So what happens? I guess you come to or whatever. I'm on my knees picking you up, taking you like, what did you do with her? Where is she? Where's Clara?
Who's Clara?
And then I set you down and I go, my wife. I thought I saw a light. I thought it was. Never mind. What's wrong?
Look, buddy, I just met you. I'm not gonna be your wife.
Okay, buddy. Oh man, the fire's getting out of hand.
Oh yeah, no, the fire's starting to escalate. Let me roll to see something here. Another big burst of kind of a aerosol can in there. It blows up. Something under pressure was on the ship.
Oh, I duck and gods, what was that? What's going on? Who are you?
Who am I? Who am I? Who are you?
I'm Max. And I just look at you, and I forget this, and I run over to the fire, and I pull out my bedroll that I have tucked in my backpack, and I unshake it, and I start patting out the grass, trying to get it to snuff it out.
Is it just me and Axe?
There's a cleric running back and forth with a 9-gallon bucket. I don't know what Pete Whittle's doing.
Nah, back at the bar with the big man. Yeah.
Oh, you and Linux are just back.
We're just
having
chilling.
good times. Then Ike's out there with y'all.
I'm patting myself down, making sure I have all my parts.
Muted, Anthony.
And my stuff, my belongings. Spinning in circles, looking at the ground. I'm not interested. I'm not interested in the fire.
I see Axe and I scream, Axe!
Should I roll to see if I hear him?
It's not very loud. I mean, he's nearby. He hears you. You hear him.
Ike, my friend. Good time to see you. Well, actually, bad time. But, hey, you're here. Good. Come on, let's get this fire out before it ruins all of Flynn's crop.
Okay. Water nearby.
Not a lot of water. The cleric has got some.
All right, let's hope this fellow over here that's running back and forth real quick.
As that happens, you see a man coming from town. He starts to walk. He's a very well-dressed man. He's wearing some formal attire. He's got a cane. It's not necessarily for injury purposes. It's just he's well-to-do, and he has a nice cane, and he's coming. The cane is a nice wooden twisted mahogany wood. It has a blue sapphire on the top, and he comes, and as he approaches, you just see him. He holds his staff into the air, and water comes out of the staff, and water just goes, and it creates like a mist, and it starts to kind of rain over the flamed area, and the fire begins to be abated. It's more of a smoldering wreckage now. The fire is no longer spreading, but the plane itself is still hot, still smoking, embers here and there. And he says, "What is going on here?"
So Lenny's sitting in the bar and he looks over at P. Whittle. He says, "My name is Lennox Deadleaf," and then he extends his hand to introduce himself.
He went along bottom's the name and magic's the game. And I extend my hand and I grab just like his index finger.
So Lennox holds out his finger. He's like, "Nice to meet you, wizard. Recently, I've heard information that there is a fire outside. I will go take a look." So right when I step out, I get up from the table and I step outside, and the first thing I see are two big-ass pigs running at me. And I reach down and I attempt to scoop both of them up in my arms.
You do. You get them.
So I have them up in my hand, or like over my shoulder, and I yell into the bar to P. Whittle, "Fortune has smiled upon me, for I have two wild pigs who have ran straight into my arms. Come, let us see the fire before I take these pigs home."
The pigs are they're domesticated, and they get your big, warm, welcoming arms and just feel safe.
I have them like this.
Yeah, they just they just get real docile, and they're not trying to get away from you at all. They understand you.
So I get them
somehow
into like a comfortable position, or I'll kind of get them up under my arms, and then I walk this way to investigate. I'm not really concerned if the fire's still going or what. I'm just kind of like whatever. I'm kind of neutral to the situation. So I approach over here, and what exactly am I seeing at this point?
Well, as you approach, you see the fire has been abated, and there's a big mass metal and canvas off in the field there that looks completely foreign to you. And you see some of the townsfolk there. You see a cleric coming back for more water. Cleric, you see your buddy from earlier, Jan, who's coming back for more water. I assume he's going to stop that soon, the water, since the man with the cane has showed up. Lenny sees a really, really large rabbit standing beside some of these people on 2 feet.
Damn, that is the biggest damn rabbit I have ever seen. So I'm gonna come over here. Can I see Flim?
Flim is still out there, just smacking the ground, thinking he has done all this work and has finally put the fire out. And you see him stretch.
So
satisfaction on his
So Lennox approaches Flim and says, "Hello, Pigmaster. I am looking for corn, and I have a sack of ducks at the Drunken Goat that I would like to trade for 2 pounds of corn." And so, but I'm still holding the pigs, and so that's my offer.
He runs up. You offering the pigs, or
no? I'm offering the ducks at the Drunken Goat.
Yeah. He runs up to pet the pig's head, and he's like kissing him on the face. He's like, "Oh, Jimmy and Jane. I thought for sure you'd been lost and frightened to death. You must be so scared. Thank you, big man, for saving them." But you couldn't understand a word he said because it sounded more like, "I'm a dame, and I'm a dame. Oh, you still heard? No, it's okay."
So he takes a few steps back. He's like, "Back up, my friend. These pigs are wild, and wild pigs will bite if you're not careful. So tell me, I have a sack of ducks I would like to trade for corn."
Corn, come me. And he just starts walking back to the warehouse.
So I follow.
Fiverr, you said you didn't care so much about what's in the burning mass there.
I care about my belongings. I know the ship's unsalvageable. I want to find my stuff before any of these people find my stuff.
So you're just looking around in the wheat fields?
Yeah, and I'm like, for theater of their mind's sake, I said I was like 4 foot tall. So
okay.
Like I'm a big rabbit, but I'm not as big as these people. So for
right.
imagining, yeah.
Well, Linux
and-
has a weird thing with animals, so I like as far not like that. Like he can talk to them. He can talk to them. So I just don't know if he'd seen a really large bipedal.
a 4 foot tall, pantsless rabbit with a leather jacket and a hat on. Yeah.
So as Linux is following Flim, I'm like, hey, by the way, did you see that 4 foot tall rabbit with a jacket on?
Yeah, corn this way.
Okay, so I proceed to follow.
Jan, I assume you can still carry.
So I've given up on the fire, noticing that it is doused efficiently, and I'm concerned about the 4 foot tall rabbit. So I make sure he's okay. Want to make sure that he's not damaged in any way.
Yeah, I mean, you walk up, you see this rabbit is moving around in the field hastily. He's searching.
Mr. Rabbit, sir, are you quite all right?
Yeah. I'm fine. And I look at you like my whiskers are like got a little flame on the end of them. Like, yeah. Have you seen my slashlight?
If I knew what a flashlight was, I'm sure I haven't seen one.
Yeah. So it looks like a flashlight. You don't know what a flashlight is?
I think now the fire's out, I'm done patting it, and I pick up this thing, and I'm like, this is the craziest dagger I've ever seen. Hey guys, look at this. You rabbits, is this yours? And I hand them, I'm like, I'll trade you one of mine, and I like show them the tin I got. What do you think?
Is that a belt made out of daggers?
No, it's just my collection. You like?
That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen.
And I get the thing I just picked up that looks like some sort of weird dagger thing, and I set it beside the other ones. And I'm like, well, it's mine, and I love them. I made them myself.
Excuse me, kind sir. I was walking through this wheat field and burning tree fell on me. And that fell out of my hand. Can I have my flashlight back, please?
I look at them and I say, oh, this thing? You sure you don't want one of these? And I just kind of like point my hip out a little bit at them and just show off the daggers.
No, like, the dagger belt's great.
Oh, really? You think so? Okay, yeah. Here you go. You can have your knife back. That's all I need to hear.
I'm sure all the hares love it, but really kind of attached to my flashlight.
I just I hand it to him, but I'm like, listen, what happened? What was that light I just saw? Because I saw one before a couple years ago, and well, let's just say it means a lot to me to figure out what's going on. I didn't know if they're connected or not. What was that I saw? I saw a light in the sky, and then I come running, and the field's on fire, and you're just on the ground, coming to. That similar thing happened to me. I want to know if it's the same thing.
No,
Who are you?
I've been here the whole time with that guy, and I point to Axe. Yeah,
Yeah,
point
you're
to
talking to
I've been here the whole time with you. You remember? You
Hmm.
called me Clara.
Yes, that's. Oh, I need a drink. I hand him the knife, and I start walking towards the town.
About that time, the gentleman with the mist rain stick, he's completed with what he's doing, and he's looking around at you guys, and he looks at Fiber. He goes, "Is this yours?" And he's pointing at the wreckage.
No,
Roll deception.
I don't own the wheat field.
No, the flaming wreckage here. This airship, I've seen that before.
Oh,
That's not from around here. Is that yours?
Oh, that. No, I think that belongs to Clara.
Roll deception there. See if he believes you. No, he
15, pretty good.
He looks at you. He looks at you puzzled. He goes, "What? Who's Clara? Like Axe's ex-wife, deceased wife? She's who is Clara? Is there a different Clara? You know what? All of you, follow me back to town. We've got to get to the bottom of this. The festival is tomorrow, and I'm not going to be having any of this shenanigans." So, and he takes off back into town, but he's gonna head this way, back to the tavern.
What is all the other people doing?
I'm on my way to the tavern. I already mentioned that. I said I need a drink, and I started walking towards the town.
I'm sitting outside the tavern on this bench reading a book.
Yeah, I follow the gentleman into town.
If everyone turns around and walks to the tavern and leaves me standing there, I'm gonna stay in the wheat field and look for stuff.
So Lenny is headed in. Yeah, he's going to get corn. Flem he gets 2 sacks of corn and he goes to hand them to you, but you've got no hands to hold them. He motions to the pigs like, I'm pig back, and corn.
He just drops a pig and he says, "Stay here, pig." And then he reaches down and he grabs 1 bag of corn in one hand and then the pig in the other hand. And then he proceeds to walk away.
Hey, my pig.
Tell me, why are they not on your property?
Well, I don't know. They just got out. They get out. But I give you corn. You give me pig.
I will accept your trade, Pigmaster. So he just throws the pig away, not very nicely.
The pig takes off down the street, and he takes off running after him. He's like, oh, Jimmy!
He scoops up both bags of corn, throws it over one shoulder, and then proceeds to...
Hey, roll animal handling real quick.
Okay.
I don't know if you have very good animal handling, but...
2.
Okay, yeah. I was going to see if that pig that you sat down and told it to stay, if it stayed. It took off running, too. So, yeah, they are gone. And...
All right,
yeah,
perfect. So I take both bags, throw them over my shoulder, and proceed this way towards the front of the Drunken Goat, and I'm heading that direction.
If y'all are cool with it, I'd like to kind of stop there and pick back up next week with what happens inside the tavern.